Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. I just purchased something that is very controversial and divisive. Why would I do such a thing? Tonight I'm going to show you what I purchased, explain why I purchased it, and we'll do kind of a review of it. Spoiler alert, this is not a watch. But it is watch related. So let us begin. Alright, so the controversial item that I recently purchased is a watch winder. Years ago, I owned one. That one was a single watch winder, very inexpensive, but it died and I haven't had one since. And I know that these are controversial. A lot of people will say that it is bad for your watch to have it on a watch winder, and I get it. The reason I purchased this is I usually keep a couple watches on my shelf that I like to keep awake so that I can just grab them. Usually it's a dress watch and maybe a sporty or Thule watch. Most of my watches are manual winders, so it's not a problem. I just wind them up once a day, keep them awake. However, the Tudor is an automatic watch with a screwed down crown. Same with the Armida and the F77. And I really don't like having to unscrew those crowns and potentially wear the threads out from doing that all the time. So I figured when a watch is taking its turn on the shelf, I could put it in the watch winder and I don't have to mess with those crowns. And then after a week or two, I'll put it back in the watch box and let it sleep. But I bought this watch winder, number one, because of its program, which I'll explain in a moment. And number two, it looks unique. This is an item that'll be sitting out for everyone to view. It'll be on a table right next to my desk here. And so I wanted something that looked unique, interesting, and cool. I saw some watch winders that were the exact opposite of this. They were so bare bones that they were actually kind of cool. However, those operate on an electromagnet, and I don't want any watches anywhere near a magnet, even though the magnet's on the opposite side of the device. I'll include some screenshots if I could track them down again. But yeah, just no magnets. So I kept looking around. I decided I wanted a double. That way, if in the case of this week, I wanted a couple options for my sporty pieces, I could keep that awake as well as any potential automatic dress watch. This particular winder was not cheap. And by not cheap, I mean it wasn't $20, $30, $40. Amazingly, there are watch winders out there for thousands of dollars. This is not one of those. This was under $100. But the cool thing about it, mainly, is the program. So I have this set to run for 2 minutes, and then it'll rest for 6 minutes. And I figure that's pretty close to what these watches would get winding-wise when they're on my wrist. So I have it set to that. And then if I feel like it periodically, I can turn it off and just let it sit all day and turn it back on at some point. There it is in action. This is not glass here. It would be nice if it was, but the power source for this is USB, so I have a wall adapter for that. Right now I have it plugged into my computer because it's right below us. Here is what the back looks like. So you can alternately run it on batteries. I'm not sure how long those would last. Here's the power in, and you have two on-off switches. One is the power in general. The other one turns off the LED lights. And that's what it looks like when those are not on. So usually during the day, I'll just keep those turned off, and then at night I'll turn them on. It definitely looks more classy with them off, but they're kind of fun. So when it's dark, I do turn them on. I like the appearance of these knobs, kind of vintagey looking. Now, my only concern with this particular winder is this. Let me set my tripod down and I'll show you. So my other watch winder had sort of a flexible yet rigid plastic piece that you strap your watch to. This one has pillows. And even though this wasn't cheap, these are just plasticky pillows. This was made in China, and I've had a faux leather couch in the past that just completely fell apart. And if these fall apart, then the winder's useless. I'm contemplating getting some measurements on these and see if it's possible to track down cheap replacements for them. I mean, they may last as long as I own this. I don't know. We'll find out. But so far, this is the only concern I have with it. So to put your watch in this, you just shove these in here. You can see that there's little guides in there, and you shove the pillow in between those. Like that. So it's pretty secure in there. It's really not going to go anywhere. And when you open it, it shuts it off. So if it was running and you open the front, it'll stop rotating. When you close it, it'll kick it off. So yeah, I actually own a watch winder now. And like I said, I'm not going to be keeping pieces in it indefinitely. It'll just be my grab and go watches for that week. If they are automatics, especially if they have screw down crowns. It'll just save wear and tear on the crowns. And I don't think this program of 2 minutes, rest for 6 minutes is going to be terribly harsh on the watches. Like I said, I may turn it off during the day and then just have it running at night, and that'll be even more gentle on them. Just enough to keep them awake. It looks really cool. Yeah. There you have it, my fancy looking double watch winder. It looks great sitting on the table, in plain view for all to see. I kind of like those LED lights. Those are fun. And it's just great to be able to keep my watches awake. I'm not going to leave them on there for extended amounts of time, but maybe for a few weeks here and there, just like I've been doing with the shelf itself, but I don't have to unscrew those crowns and risk damaging the threads. I could just keep the watches awake. That way they're grab and go. Thanks for watching.